those are the best investments. The McLaren is cool. The Lamborghini is cool. The house is cool. But if you don't take that money and you spend it at home making your life easier, then you've still got the same problems, but you just got cool shit with it. Well, you gotta suffer through it. You gotta get through these things. No, I fucking don't. Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast, where we talk about business and life lessons that have allowed me to scale one of my companies to 7 figures in 12 months and 8 figures in 16 months, as well as later become a consultant and a partner in a 9-figure corporation and multiple other businesses. I'm working towards becoming the best husband, father, mentor, and business partner. So welcome today. And as always, oh, look at that top. Oh, that is an awesome freaking, I'm going to get right into it. That's an awesome top. This is the Paris top. We have the Arc de Triomphe. No, that's not the Arc de Triomphe. I'm so bad at my French shit. The Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. I had an Eiffel Tower joke in there, but you're female, so that's wildly inappropriate Eiffel Tower shirt joke. Okay, moving on. Okay, where'd you get that shirt, by the way?
It is by a designer, Karl Lagerfeld.
Okay.
He was the designer for.
He seems like somebody who's very exciting.
Yes. He is.
We shall put.
I love his stuff because he was the designer for Chanel for many, many years.
Oh,
so
really?
A lot of his stuff has
so
kind of the
fancy
Chanel vibe to it, but not the Chanel price tag.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Karl Lagerfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to old boy Karl.
Yeah. I think he's passed now.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
you can still shout him out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Just in case. He's dead, but he's still very much alive in your Paris shirt.
He is.
That's
I
awesome.
I like this shirt though. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Brings me back to traveling.
Yeah.
Maybe one day again soon.
I lived a lifetime of travel before that. Have you obviously been to Paris?
No, I actually
You've never been to Paris?
I've never been to Europe.
Wait, what?
I know.
What do you mean travel?
Sad.
You say travel. I think travel.
I've been to Africa.
If you can say that you've traveled, then I feel like Europe is, because you at least have to go through Heathrow from the US to get pretty much anywhere on the eastern side of the country,
I've been to South Africa.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't have to go through Heathrow. So
that would be a very long detour going through Heathrow.
It's that direction in the world, but not necessarily.
So what is the favorite place that you've traveled to then? Since you've traveled, but not to Europe, which really doesn't count.
I think, So my favorite, but because it was the most transformational spiritually too.
Don't say Palm Springs.
No.
Okay.
That's when I climbed Machu Picchu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I went to Peru for
I haven't
10
done
days.
that yet.
Amazing.
Really?
Yes. Amazing. And just so there were so many places there that have such a high vibration, like spiritually.
Yeah.
That it's life-changing.
Yeah.
So I spent my 33rd birthday at a place called Sexy Woman.
Okay.
Which it's actually spelled like sexy woman.
Sounds amazing. Sexy woman.
It was.
Okay.
And it was just all these like ruins and just the vortex of energy through some of those spots that you could kind of sit and meditate. And I had a shaman with me. So she showed us a lot of like really cool things. And there's these like little leaves, the coke leaves.
Okay.
That you can actually chew on those. It's actually coke leaves. And it helps with nausea for altitude, because I was getting like a little bit nauseous from the altitude sickness. So chewing those actually helps with that. It gives you energy, suppresses your appetite, but it's just the plant.
Yeah.
So that's actually how a lot of the Mayans were able to accomplish all that they did through there and manage the altitude changes. So
we're just high on coke plant the whole time.
Kinda. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Everybody chews on them, and you're not like out of your mind.
You're not cracked out.
Like, no, you're not. But it does have some of the similar effects, like
that's awesome.
Settling the stomach and stuff. But this actually is a plant that you give back to Mother Earth as well. So we did a whole ritual on my birthday where we actually took these, blessed them, and blessed Mother Earth and gave them back to the rocks. So it was like, all that woohoo stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you eat them, how do you give them back?
The ones I ate, I didn't give back.
Oh,
but
okay.
I had other ones that I
thought you guys were just like taking coke and throwing up all over the place.
No, not
so it's
like
just
that.
a ritual where you just take part of the plant or part of the leaves and give it back.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you bury it or like what? What is that ritual like?
You can find like little places in the rocks and the ruins where there's like breakouts or holes or whatever, and you can put them in there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then the one area that I was at, I mean, I feel like this guy he came out of nowhere. Like he came out of nowhere and disappeared into nothing. Like it was the most spiritual crazy thing. And I wasn't like on drugs when it happened. So I wasn't on drugs at all while I was
This
there.
dude just came out of nowhere.
But we were in this one area where all the ruins were at, and we turn around and there's this guy there. And our shaman and him spoke the same language. And so they were interacting with each other. And he said, and I was with a girlfriend of mine, and he said, can I bless you ladies? And we were like, yes, please do it. And he had this like sage, and there was this hole in one of the rocks that was actually formed from water dripping from one of the trees. And so the sun was like coming through the trees and just like shining this water. I mean, it was very magical looking water. And so he was praying over the water, and then he asked if he could bless us, and he took his sage, and we closed our eyes and just opened our hands, and he had that water and was lightly tapping us up, and he's like praying whatever blessing it was. And I didn't know what he was saying, but how it felt, it was so pure. It felt like the purest love I had ever experienced. And then a few minutes later, like after he was done, it was like I bought a necklace from him because he had these necklaces. He had walked 10 miles, he said, without shoes on, which is kind of a funny story because that's what our parents, when I was a kid, I would walk 10 miles up the hill.
I blessed
both
these
ways.
2 white women just hanging out in my house. I thought I was just washing my hands in my sink, and they decided that they wanted to buy my necklace.
Yeah, but we actually bought necklaces that he had blessed in the water and stuff. But he was doing this so that he could make money for his church.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then he just like disappeared, and that was it. But it was really magical. So that was, I like trips like that. That's where I want to find my travel, where I like seeing things. Seeing the Eiffel Tower would be great, but there would have to be some sort of like spiritual practice involved in it. Like I'm more drawn to like maybe Bali or Indonesia, some places where I could actually have meditative practices or do yoga or, really slow down and actually take that time separate from the world so that I can feel like I'm on vacation and not hustling just to go see a bunch of things.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think the craziest vibrational place that I've been to is actually Stonehenge. So if you can pay extra actually to go to Stonehenge before the sun rises and without anybody else there. So if you go to just Stonehenge during the normal business hours, they have actually a big red rope around Stonehenge that's about 100, I wouldn't say 100 yards, maybe like 100 feet, like 20 yards, 30 yards away from Stonehenge. So you can't actually touch the rocks or walk around the rocks or anything like that. But I actually paid extra, and we went at sunrise and we were able to sit in the Stonehenge circle and like sit on the rocks and stuff like that. And that was the craziest, highest vibrational place I've ever been to by far. That place, there was something crazy, magical, and different. Like the way you could pretty much hear a buzzing the entire time you're there. It's pretty wild, the setup.
The study of the pyramids, I find absolutely fascinating.
It's actually a really cool place.
Very similar, the way, I mean, it's just epic. The way that there's a different dimension that people at that time were on because of the way they built these buildings, where they were placed at. Right. I mean, they were on some technology we definitely don't have today or aren't tapped into. It was aliens
or giants.
Maybe.
Which one?
Could be either.
It's just so mathematically perfect. I was disappointed because when I went to Egypt to see the pyramids, I thought it was like, this is going to be awesome. We're going to ride some camels out there. We're going to be trekking through desert for miles and miles and miles. No, they're like right next to fucking Egypt. Like you could anywhere in the city of Egypt, you can see the pyramids. They're like on the edge of the city. It's like if we lived in Plano and you looked over, you could see the pyramids from where you are in Plano. It's like there's a highway that goes to it. And I don't know why I thought like, oh, we're going to have to traverse. You see movies and you're like, we're going to have to traverse through sands and time. And I hope I meet Jafar and shit like that. And maybe a magic carpet ride. But no, we drove on the bus to the,
Like you're
you know,
picturing like a dune
yeah,
scene
it was amazing.
and
I'm gonna have to ride the worm all the way to ancient Egypt and Anubis. No, we
mm,
just you take the bus all the way out there, and it's like 2 minutes from the city, and you're at the pyramids and the Sphinx. It's like
interesting.
that's it. That's all it is. I thought this would be a longer, more epic trip than this.
I would have pictured that too.
Yeah, but the pyramids are amazing. They're
Mhm.
absolutely incredible,
Yeah.
incredible feats. I wish, man, if time travel would be cool because that would be one of the few things that I'd want to go see where it is completely marble, just top to bottom. Can you
Yeah.
imagine those things? Just
Yeah.
marble and gold.
Well, and they find
Wild.
like there's places where they've found these ruins and then other ruins underneath it,
Yeah,
where it's like cities are built on top of cities and these ruins are on top of ruins and pyramids on top of pyramids. It's fascinating.
yeah, it's
Absolutely
awesome.
fascinating.
I
All of
love that.
that based off wearing a Karl Lagerfeld
There you go. Thanks,
Paris
Carl.
shirt.
That was a
Yes.
great opening.
Great
Love it.
opening.
Let's move on. What are we going to talk about
Today
today?
we're going to talk about real talk. Which that was real talk too,
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
if somebody wants to be successful as an entrepreneur, like or just really successful in anything, constantly bombarded with these messages like you need to stay fit or you need to prioritize your family, but also work hard at your business. You need to manage your money well. All these you need to, you need to, you need to, you shoulds, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, really talking about those statements and sharing an honest assessment of how you're juggling all of these need tos in your life as far as family, fitness, finances, and how not to find a way not to die in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's very important.
So the two of us are going to share a little bit about how we're doing that, mainly you. I'll jump in a little bit along the way as necessary. But yeah, most importantly, we're figuring out how we manage all of those shoulds without dying in the process. And so all of the everything else that we're juggling day to day in this journey.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's talk about your fitness journey and how fitness has played a major part in your life. I know you're considering working on building, you actually have started your home gym. And so that obviously means a lot to you because you're investing in doing it in your home, bringing the gym to you. So let's talk about your fitness journey. What's that been like? And you did competitions
Yeah.
and yeah. So
I first, I've been an athlete my whole life. So I've been in the gym since I was, God, true, like real in the gym with a training platform and everything like that since being a teenager. And I used to have this trainer, and he's probably long gone by now because he was ancient when I was there. His name was Albion Connie, and he was the Sacramento Kings trainer at the time and trained the national track team for, I believe, Nigeria or one of the West African countries. Um, Older white guy, pretty much like Rocky. He was exactly like Mick in Rocky. He was this old, raspy dude, and people from athletes from all over the country, high level professional athletes. That's where I met Ephraim Salam and a lot of professional football players. They would come and train with him during the summer. And so I was training with him, rehabbing my knee, and I ended up continuing training with him throughout that. And throughout my athletic career, I was in the gym and training in fitness. And when I did my residency in Palm Springs, they had a bodybuilding show there. And my wife was into fitness as well. And she wanted to do this bodybuilding show. She said, "You should do it with me." And I was like, "Nah, I don't really want to do that." And she's like, "You should." And okay. So, and by that time, I was not really fit. I was in residency, like 100 hours a week, and trying to survive off of cafeteria food and not really having time to go to the gym. And it really forced me once I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get the best coach out there and whatever. So I found uh, a guy, his name is Ariel Alberto, and he runs Cuts Fitness, does a lot of bodybuilders and stuff like that. And he specifically does like shorter guys too. He does a lot of tall guys now too, but he did like short guys because he was a Filipino dude. So he did all like short Filipino dudes. white dudes and black dudes. I'm like, okay, this guy knows short people's bodies, so I'm gonna go with him. And I lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks. God, it was horrible. That was horrible. But I ended up, winning that show, and later on just continued to do the bodybuilding thing, continued to work at that. Never did heavy steroids or anything like that, so I never did professional, because you have to, if you're going to go all in with that, you got to be on gear to get to that professional level, really. So just continue to do that, continue to have fitness as part of my life through residency and through being a, even a physician after that. And then you go in cycles, you kind of fall off a bit. Now, again, the past really year or two, getting back in the gym, getting more fit. Oh, really year, because if I say 2 years, I was fat as shit before my triplets were born. God, I look at the befores and I had no hair and I look like a fat little roly poly. I look like the penguin from Batman. It was awful. And so it's like, okay, I gotta actually take care of myself now, because I got a hot wife, and and I'm not rich yet, so I can't really let myself go. I can't be like that rich guy who's just like super fat. It's like, fuck, okay. So getting back into the gym and working out, and I found that all of my mentors, they were right when they say, if you work out and you really take care of your body, your clarity in your mindset, your ability to perform, all of that gets elevated. And it's very true. And some of them even go as far as to say, when I'm the fittest, I make the most money. And I don't think it's translational in that being super fit makes you a lot of money. Because I've got friends and bodybuilders that are super fit and they're fucking poor. But that being said, it's because being super fit and being healthy allows them, again, the clarity of mind, the ability to perform, less just sluggishness during the day. So they have more energy, more ability to get things done, everything like that. So I have taken to that point where it's the same kind of thing. If I take care of myself, if I take care of my body, I've told Steph, I feel good. If I don't take care of myself and I'm eating like shit, then I feel like absolute crap and I just cannot perform. And I tell her, like, I just feel like garbage. We need to do something to change it. And so that's really changed my diet as well, along with fitness, where I eat a huge breakfast, I eat a pretty much a huge lunch, and then I eat a tiny dinner, if if that. Like, sometimes I just don't eat dinner at all. I'll have maybe a protein shake at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and then I don't eat after that. I eat maybe a bag of popcorn watching TV before we go to bed. But other than that, I do not eat really heavily past 6 p.m. anymore.
So do you do intermittent fasting?
Nope. I mean,
Okay.
people can call it that. Yeah, they can say intermittent fast. So I guess I quote unquote intermittently fast from after 7 or 8 p.m. until the morning, which, what is that? Like a 16-hour fast if you really wanted to put labels on it. I don't fucking label it. I just don't eat after 7 p.m.,
Yeah.
6 p.m. It's just like, you can call it what you want. I just don't fucking do it.
I heard somebody say on, I think it was like a social media post, like, you guys call it intermittent fasting. We just called it skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Like,
yeah.
I don't skip breakfast because I wake up voracious in the morning and I have to eat in the morning, or else I've tried the intermittent fasting to not eat breakfast and I just get dizzy and pass out or fucking throw up. So I'm like, okay, I could eat breakfast and eat lunch heavily and not eat dinner and not have that problem.
Yeah.
It's just the way my body works. But I just call that living. So fitness has really gotten important along with that, where I've gotten healthier and healthier. And as you said, I started now to build our gym. I had a home gym when I lived in Las Vegas. I haven't built one here because it was a 10-minute ride to the gym, 15-minute ride to the gym. But now the more meetings I have, the more stuff I have to pack into my schedule, the more I realized if I'm driving 15 minutes to the gym and 15 minutes back, that's 30 minutes I missed. 30 minutes is a big part of a day for me, in terms of meetings, in terms of my hourly wages, in terms of what I can make in that 30 minutes, especially if I want to have time for my kids or if I want to be able to have a date night with the wife. Like, I have to pack and schedule my life based around that. And if I still want to go to the gym, I got to have equipment at home. So we bought the dumbbells, and I'm looking at buying a big, cable rack for my gym at home, just because I want to create my lifestyle or create my surroundings to help support my lifestyle. And that was a huge thing that I went to a conference, and they were studying how high level individuals or people in general made changes and kept changes after going to different events. So if you're, let's say you go to a mastermind, how are you going to change or what you're going to change afterward really came down to surroundings. So what that meant was people who go to self-help seminars, people that go to marketing seminars, people that go to any type of seminar, when they leave, only about 4% of the people change afterwards. Only 4%. And they studied this. And so they figured out what are the things that are happening with those 4% that they are actually making that change. So there was two things that those people who changed did the most over everyone else. Number one was that they went in with an open mind. They were like, I don't know anything. I want to learn as much as possible and I want to consume everything that this person is telling me, like they're telling it to me for the first time and I don't know anything and that it could help me. So it was a mindset and openness thing. The second thing that they did was they went back and instead of going back into their normal routines, they changed something about their routine or they changed something about their surroundings in order for them to succeed. So, for example, if they went to a weight loss and self help seminar, when they came home, they cleaned out the fridge and the refrigerator and the pantry, bought all new foods, and from then on, only bought foods and only snacked on foods that they were like fresh and good snacks and everything like that. That's all. That's what they did. They changed their surroundings. And that's what made them more successful in what they were trying to do. So if I want to be more successful in my fitness, I have to spend the money to change my surroundings so that I can be fit. And what does that mean? It means having a home gym for me now so that I can walk over, work out, walk over, have breakfast, shower, and be on my day if I work out in the morning or if I work out at night or in the afternoon. I don't have to worry about getting into the car and getting to the gym in between meetings. And it's making sure that I am creating my surroundings around what I want to be. And that was huge and really something that I don't think entrepreneurs think about enough is that they go back to their same surroundings and their same people and their same way of doing things rather than forcing themselves to spend the money on changing their surroundings. I have so many business partners whose wives complain about their lives at home because they're stay-at-home moms, but they have no help. Like staying at home mom is a fucking horrible job. Like I know Sean is a stay-at-home dad now. Like good for you because you fucking lucked out with that. It's like you get to leave the house. I get to leave the house, right? We get to leave the house. Like being the stay-at-home person is fucking horrible because all he's gonna have is your daughter to speak to all day long, and then he's gonna come home and he's gonna talk your ear off because all he's done is babble with your daughter all day long. Like that was my wife.
He does like to talk to me,
Yeah,
a lot, but he does talk to me a lot,
right.
but he does not. I think it works out because he really would prefer not to talk to anybody but me.
Oh, okay.
But he was doing
That's
that
good.
before.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
when he was
When he was working,
yeah,
he didn't talk to
he
anybody.
couldn't wait to like get out of there and come home and then talk
Yeah.
to me about all the same things we talk about now. But
That's good.
yeah, I think for him, it's like a breath of fresh air. 'Cause
Absolutely.
he's somebody, he's like, no, I'll sit and be with the baby and not
That's
talk
good.
to a single soul and be okay with it.
That's good. That's so good. But there's tons of wives that usually wives are more social
Yeah.
than the husbands are, and my wife is super social. But the good thing is that she gets to go out and go to the gym and go to do her things because she has our nanny that comes and takes care of the kids. My business partners, they're making more money than me and they refuse to get a nanny or they refuse to even get a house helper to come over and wash some dishes and clean the house and do the laundry and stuff like that. Stuff that takes that time off of your plate. And when people ask me about that, I tell them those are the best investments. Like the McLaren is cool, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini is cool, the house is cool, but if you don't take that money and you spend it at home making your life easier or your wife's life easier, your spouse's life easier in general, then you've still got the same problems, but you just got cool shit with it.
Mm.
It doesn't make it any better. And it was a mindset change with being a parent as well, where a lot of the old school parents are like, well, you got to suffer through it. You got to get through these things. No, I fucking don't. I made a ton of money, so I don't have to fucking do that. Like, yes, I change diapers, and yes, my wife and I, cook food for the babies. But if I could have somebody who cooks for them all day long and changes their diapers all day long, and all I have to worry about is playing with my kids, I don't have to worry about cleaning up after them. I don't have to worry about cooking them. Then I can pack more into my day
Mhm.
because I can focus on business, 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 having fun and playing with them, business, 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 spending time with my wife, business, 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 because I like that. Business is what I love to do. But, and, I don't want to go to my kids and be frustrated with them because they haven't gotten any attention all day long and they're fighting and they're filled with shit diapers and there's toys everywhere and I have to clean up. So I'm not playing with my kids. I got to, change their diaper, which is not playing with your kids. I have to cook for them, which is not playing with my kids. All that takes time that I could pay somebody else to do so I could just play with my kids and all that other shit is done. That's the best investment.
Yeah, it's quality of time.
And really back to fitness or whatever. It's making sure that your surroundings are designed for what you want in life.
Mm.
And you might not be able to afford, like I can't afford or have the size for a full size gym like I want. My wife and I want to have a full size fucking cool barn dominium. Andy Frisella, he's got the coolest fucking barndominium. Like, he's got 40 cars in there, his office, he's got a badass 2-story gym. Like, that's what I want, but I can't afford it now. So I can do what I can afford. I can build a little gym in our front foyer like we have here that can help me get there. It's stages and creating your surroundings now so that when I do have the money to do it, one, like I will have done all the work and created a schedule around it. And two, it's there. I will have lived that life. And I mean, I've got so many stories on this. One of the biggest lessons that I most recently reminded me of this is that I went on vacation and my wife and I go on vacation like once a year. So I actually went on vacation last year to get my teeth done, actually. And I realized that I hadn't gone to the gym before that for 6 months, just busy, 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 busy. But I was able to get all my work done there and go to the gym every single day while I was there at the resort. And I was like, well, fucking why? What's the difference here? Well, it was because, and it wasn't because I didn't have the kids, because part of the time we didn't have the kids. And then my wife came down and saw me, and we still didn't have the kids the whole time, which I missed them like crazy. But the biggest difference was I could get up, get dressed, and walk to the gym. And in 3 minutes, I was in the gym working out from getting up and getting dressed. I worked out, then I could walk to breakfast. Breakfast was cooked. It was there. It was easy. Boom. I was able to read while waiting for my breakfast, ate breakfast. Then I was able to shower. And then after being able to, and I walked 2 minutes back to my room to shower. Then after showering, I was able to do my emails, study, work, etc. And then I had extra time in the afternoon. So I went to the gym again and did some more exercise workout, did some more, listened to podcasts or did calls from the gym. But I was able to hit the gym every day, if not twice a day while I was there. This is with also dental appointments that I had every single day while I was there. And it was like, well, why? Like, why? And it goes back to that study where my surroundings were exactly what I needed in order to do that. It was easy to walk to the gym. It was easy to walk to breakfast. It was easy to walk back and get a shower. So all that could be done without the 15-minute breaks in between. And that's if you live close to these things. So 45 minutes to an hour of wasting time of me getting in the gym. And that doesn't even include all the extra shit like getting dressed and packing a bag to shower and packing a towel and, forgetting a towel. So you're trying to dry off your entire body with like this hand towel and you're half butt naked with all the other old dudes talking to each other in the gym. Like all those things, they add up time. And so I was like, okay, well, shit. That's when it triggered me to build a home gym. It's like, well, fuck, that's why I was able to do it every day. Because even if I can't get to the gym now, at least I got something, I could move some weight over there
Mhm.
and get my workout done.
Yeah, that was transformational for me. We have a home gym, of course, with Sean being a primary focus for his life and his career. It was like, and like when we moved in together and he had gym equipment, I was like, I know, no, I'm not working out at home. I'm not inspired to work out at home. I can't do that. I wanted to be out. I wanted to be out
Yeah.
doing things. The female aspect of like just being out with people and stuff. And now that I've had the baby and it's been 3 months, as soon as I got the okay, well, and even during the pregnancy, I should say, like that's when I really started being like, oh my gosh, this is great. Cause, I'm pregnant. I'm riding the bike all awkwardly and,
Yeah.
I have pains and have to get off and can't
Yeah.
breathe,
Yeah.
like I don't really want to
You
do
can't
that in public.
it's a pain in the ass to drive yourself to the gym as well. It's dangerous,
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was so much easier to be able to, we were talking about having the life that supports or the surroundings that support the lifestyle. For me to stay healthy and fit through the pregnancy was important. And I knew that was going to help with the actual birth, but also recovery. And so having that home gym was such an important part of my process. And now, he's super supportive of keeping her so that I have that time. But it's easy, like what we were saying, like I can be working out and be on calls, during my cool down. I'm basically, unless it's a video call, I can jump on a call 5 minutes after I'm done working out, let my body cool down before I shower, where at the gym, it's like you're going all hot and sweaty and you're getting a shower, you're still sweating when you're putting your clothes back on. And,
Hmm.
it's just disruptive. But as far as that goes, not everybody's going to have a home gym. So we
Right.
can talk about how great that is for our life. And we're super blessed to be at a place to have that. And I remember when I decided that I didn't need a dining room, I'm like, we can eat at the little cubby, let's turn our dining room into a gym.
Right.
Instead, you walk into our house and it's gym equipment.
I
I
know.
even
That's like my
recently
old Vegas house. Yeah, exactly. It's
I
great.
recently asked him if he wanted to turn our living room into the gym because it's bigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't really spend that much time in here. Let's move the living room into the dining room and the gym equipment out there. And then I can buy this and this and this. And
Yeah.
he's like, that's a really big project,
Yeah.
And he's like, and then our whole house is the gym. And,
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, maybe we'll wait,
Yeah.
but dreaming for the next place. Um, what do you think people can do that are getting into fitness or wanting to incorporate this aspect of a balanced lifestyle
Yeah.
into their day-to-day life? If they're not going to have a home gym, what other things do you think that they can do that would help with that fitness aspect?
Well, just because you don't have, a fancy home, you don't need a fancy home gym. I've got a bench in there and I've got some dumbbells that go up to, they're like the select dumbbells that go up to 80 pounds. And that whole setup was like $500, which I know is
Mm.
expensive. But before that, we just had dumbbells. I think Steph, my wife, bought Amazon dumbbells that were like $30 for a set of five 7.5s, 10s, and 15s. And I get it. That's really small for guys, but hey, strap those 15s to your arms and do fucking, jumping jacks and plyos and up downs and push-ups and stuff holding those 15s. You go for a mile run holding those 15s. I guarantee you're gonna fucking feel it. Like
Yeah.
100%. So you don't need a bunch of fancy equipment. You can work out at home. You could definitely so it doesn't you can have a home gym with that and a pair of $20 booty bands. And I get it, guys, booty bands, whatever, bands in general is bad. Follow a guy named and I'm gonna shout this guy out because I've never met him. I hope to meet this guy one day, but he's in his mid 40s, and I'm like, I'm getting older, so I gotta change. I've had 6 knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries, so I gotta fix a lot of stuff that I lift, and I don't lift heavy. I don't do squats. I don't do like free weight bench press. I don't max out anything anymore. My joints can't fucking take it. I'm not gonna destroy myself for something stupid. But this guy, Judd Linehard, he's an older guy, and it's a Juddenhard, and he's a fucking monster. He's a monster. He's a strength and conditioning coach, and he does a lot of band work and stuff, and a lot of body weight movement. And one of the greatest actually things that he posted a comment specifically on power and speed, and the study goes that when trying to increase the destructive capabilities of a bullet, there's two ways you can either do it. You can make the bullet bigger or you can make the bullet move faster. If you double the bullet in size, it will double the impact. However, if you make that same bullet and you double the speed, it creates 4 times the amount of force and impact.
Wow.
So it's just he does a lot of speed and agility training and everything like that. And that was a good thing for mindset because I'm a smaller guy too, but I played with bigger guys because I was a lot faster, and faster speed creates power. you can move your body and you can move it faster than anybody else, it creates a lot of power. So I've been using a lot of his band work and at home stuff. And dude, I have been lit on fire with his shit. And there's a lot of body work with these bands that are $20 bands. So with $20 bands and a $20 set of dumbbells, you're $40 in and you've got a home gym. And
Yeah.
then the second part is just go outside. 75 Hard talks about this. They do 45 minutes indoor and 45 minutes outdoor at different times of the day. But that outdoor, just go outside. You can always go outside. You put on layers when it's cold. You take off layers when it's hot. Just go outside and move your body. And Steph always talks about this because she runs a lot. She hasn't been able to because of the broken kneecap, but she moves her body a lot, does a lot of classes and jumping and movement. And she always says like, hey, after 40, anybody who's above 40, like 2% of people can sprint if
Mm.
they're older than 40 physically. So it's like, fuck, okay, I got to start sprinting. I got to start. So I've been getting back with Judd's stuff, getting back into like agility drills and movement and stuff like that. And you just feel better overall and you get cut overall. And I've got a good friend. He's been on the podcast, Jacob. He's a monster. He doesn't lift heavy every day. He lifts some heavy days, but he's doing hot yoga other days. And he's doing speed and agility drills most days. He doesn't sit there and just lift at all. And you just grow when you act like an athlete, when you move like an athlete, when you lift and have different body mechanics like an athlete. That's how you can do things.
Yeah, I would say one of my tips would be if somebody does have a little bit more to invest, the Peloton is amazing. And
God, I hate biking. We have one.
yeah,
But yeah.
bike, but they also have other classes. So
Right.
if you can afford the bike or the treadmill and buy the subscription, they have strength classes. They've got I just did a full body boot camp kind of class, which was strength and it was light weights. So a small range of weights and then jumping on the bike for 10 minutes, getting high, it's like a high interval, kind of get the heart rate up, get off the bike, do some lightweight exercises, jump back on the bike. 45 minutes of that. I mean, my calorie burns are up anywhere from 500 to 600 calories a workout,
Yeah, that's crazy.
just following the Peloton stuff.
And
So,
those Facebook Marketplace for those.
yeah, I got mine for $500.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There
yeah.
you go.
And it was brand new. The guy,
Yeah.
he-
I was an
he had
idiot and paid
never
full
used it.
price,
Oh,
but I bought hers. I bought Steph's when she was, and it's Steph's. I don't fucking use that thing. I've used it like 3 times, but she, a funny story about that. My wife, I don't know if I said this on a podcast before. We'll have to bring her on for that part
Yeah.
for the partner podcast, but she is the most unexcited person like in history of mankind.
okay. I didn't know
Like,
this.
no, yeah, she's got zero emotion when it comes to everything. Like my family will cry and hug and oh my God, this is beautiful on surprises. She's just like, meh. And she's always been like that. It's hilarious. So I get this Peloton and we wheel it in and we build it in the middle of the night or whatever for Christmas, right? And she wanted it. And I was like, that thing's stupid, whatever. I bought it. And she comes downstairs for Christmas and Peloton's there and I expect excitement and blah, blah, blah. And it was one of the first Christmases together. So that's when I started to realize that she doesn't get excited about anything. And she looks at the Peloton and she's like, oh, Peloton. I'm like, that's it? That's all I get? Like, that's it? That's everything? And yeah, it's hilarious. The same thing happened when I bought her first Escalade. I bought the Escalade, moved her car, had the Escalade outside the house. We went on a date that night and I was like, let's go on a date night or whatever. Okay. She gets dressed. We walk outside. The Escalade is right there. And she walks right past it. And I was like, we're gonna go. She's like, oh, this is the car. This is our car. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, nice. Like, that's it. That's like it. So never.
You cannot be a words of affirmation.
No, dude,
cannot be your love
it
language.
sucks because I'm totally a words of affirmation as part of my love language. It's like I still remember I remember when we were living in our fucking broken down master bedroom in that shitty ass crack house where she told me one night, she's like, you're doing a really good job. That was it. Like I still remember that to this day because I am a total words of affirmation person. she's got zero fucking words of affirmation. And it's like, oh man, really? This is
Is she
awful.
what she's does she get excited though when the kids do something like cool, like walk or
No,
no, it's still the
no,
same.
she's still the
Is she
same.
just
Yeah, yeah.
even?
She's just even keel.
Well, you know what you're gonna
She's just
get.
calm. Yeah, yeah. You know what you're gonna get. That's the good thing. She's even
Yeah.
keel. She does. She's happy with the kids, but I'm like happy and crying when kids do some stupid shit, or like when I watch a movie and stuff like that. I'll get all emotional. She does
Oh,
not
wow.
nothing from her.
That's good to know. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that'll be good for
she's
my
totally
friendship with her.
totally even keel.
I won't feel like there's something wrong if
Yeah,
she's
there's
not
nothing
super
wrong. If you
excited.
get her a gift or something like that, there's totally nothing wrong. She just like has zero excitement capabilities.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. So when it comes to family, we kind of just rolled into
Yeah,
that.
we did.
So we're talking about fitness and family, finances. So let's talk about family next. And what do you feel like? Well, the challenges we just learned that your lack of words of affirmation from your wife
It's
might be a
rough.
challenge.
Yeah, it is.
But when it comes to the shoulds, spending time with your wife
Yeah.
and family, that should that's in the balanced approach to entrepreneurism. What do you feel like the challenges are with that, with building the business and then also the time that you have to put into your family?
Well, that was actually a really good thing that I took from one of my mentors, Ryan Stewman, in that he said, always date your wife or make sure that you have a date night for your wife. And it got busier and busier and busier in business a while ago to where we were not spending any time together. And now we have every Friday is date night, no matter what. And, she knows that that's date night. If we don't have a babysitter, the kids get left at home in cages, just how it is. But no, we have a set date night every single week to where we definitely make sure that we go out and spend time together. And it's been great. I think I'm still having a lot of difficulty with realizing that no matter what, the business will build itself. It does take time. So being able to spend time with my kids or spend time with her and talking about things in our life and our plans in general outside of business is still important. And I'm still playing on my fucking phone and still doing all that. So I still make a lot of mistakes. I still have that problem and that issue because I really want to build my business and I really want to grow the business and focus on growing everything out and taking care of everything and not giving her any of those stresses of having to worry about paying bills or anything like that. So I still take everything on myself and she wants to be involved in a lot of it. And I always tell her no, 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 which causes a lot of strife. But at the same time, it's good because she wants to learn how to do it and be involved in it and everything like that. And sometimes she doesn't understand that I tell her no because not because I don't want her involved, it's because I don't want her to worry. Because we've got, on the entrepreneur side, if you're going to build a business and grow a business and have I mean, there's a lot of bad shit. There's a ton of bad shit pretty much every fucking day. It's like, Elon says it the best where you're a sieve to where like everybody brings you all the shit, literally. Like nobody brings you gold. Like the gold is the business making money and people being able to afford the bills to pay them their money. Half the time, so not half the time, but I would say sometimes you don't get paid as the owner, but still everybody brings you all the shit, all the
Yeah.
problems that you have to fix. So I try and separate her from that as much as possible. But I have been trying to get her more involved because she wants to be involved and taking her along with me in our growth. And we've grown a lot as a couple. And this year we were laughing because it'll be 10 years together this year. 5 years married.
Congratulations.
5 years married, yeah. 10 years together. It's like fuck, we could have had a 9-year-old by now. We would have knocked you up earlier. But no,
Yeah.
we got 2-year-old triplets and another one on the way. So yeah.
Or you could have had a
We-
9-year-old and then another one on the way
Right?
10 years
Or
later or
20
20
year
years
you could have a
later.
20-year-old and then another one on the way 20 years later, yeah,
Yeah.
like you. I'm not that bad. But no, that being said, I think that's I think making sure that you're scheduling the time with your wife. And I haven't gotten to the point where people say they schedule sex and schedule all those things that are important to be close to each other. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I see my schedule and the way it's growing and the way it has to be to where it's almost like, yeah, I have to schedule business meetings as a luncheon with my wife.
Mhm.
I have to schedule the dinners. I do schedule the dinners now with my wife, but I haven't gotten to the point of scheduling sex yet because that seems like a job. But Maybe it gets to that point. I have no idea because I have colleagues that run way bigger businesses than me that schedule a lot of their shit. But I have colleagues that run way bigger business than me and they don't schedule anything with family. And then they say, "Well, I'm building my business and they'll understand." You know, I've always been of the opinion that I live not for my kids, I live to show my kids what's possible. But that is on me to be able to not only build massive businesses, but show them I could be there because my parents were there and it creates an awesome person and an awesome human. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the Spinoso podcast. If you found this valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. Would love to have your support as much as possible. I don't run ads on this show or for this show, but I would love if you could get the word of mouth out there as I really appreciate it. And as always, I value your feedback. Message me, tell me how I can do better, or tell me some questions that you would like answered on the Spinoso podcast, and I will get to them. Thank you for listening.